Good evening and welcome to Truth, Health, and Wellness. I'm Lacey Klontz and I'm here with Dr. Matt and Deborah St. John. Hey guys.
Hey. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
We're sliding into home base.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's
Whirlwind
weather
today.
It has been wild. Yeah, we're hearing that it's supposed to be a Category 4 hurricane now that's hitting, and I just saw a...
Do we believe that though?
Yeah, really, and I just had we saw something from the DeKalb County, which is a very northern county up in Alabama, DeKalb County, Alabama EMA or whatever, and they're basically giving all kind of reports about potential flooding and stuff. So wow, it's a little spooky, but hey, we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be good. We have a birthday party scheduled for this weekend though for our
Yeah.
daughter. So
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
Brittany.
we're hoping that it doesn't rain it out or cancel it or us have to move it.
It's not looking, because the party's supposed to go from Friday and then on into Saturday. And Saturday is we actually are supposed to be getting on one of those jumpy slides. And so I'm just not knowing how that's going to go. So we might have to have a backup plan.
hard to know.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. I'll be driving all day tomorrow, so hopefully
You
Yeah,
be
just
driving
be
in
careful.
Georgia? Or,
leaving Georgia.
oh boy, okay, we'll see. You'll know. We'll know in the morning, I think, better about this.
Yeah, it said when I looked earlier today that it won't be bad, where I'm going until late tomorrow.
Okay, so it'll be okay.
I'm good.
It'll be okay. As long as you slide into home plate there, just in the nick of time, you'll be fine.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, as always, right?
Yeah.
Well, so what have you guys been seeing this week
Oh my goodness.
in the
Well,
clinic?
goodness.
Well, lots of stuff. I mean, today
Sciatica was one. We
Yeah.
had a
Yeah.
sciatica question, issue with sciatica.
we had a great testimony on turmeric for back pain. Some lady had been
inflammation.
Oh, yeah.
had been having back pain for just ever, like as long as she could,
It's me
think.
right now.
And
Yeah.
and so we put her on just turmeric, and she came back in today talking about how it totally got rid of her back pain. And so she quit taking it one day, and then her pain came back. So she got back on it,
No
and then she came to
way.
see us, and she's like, "Is it okay if I just stay on this forever?" And so we had a conversation with her. She got her
great.
daughter on it, so everybody that's taking it's feeling better. So that was a really
It's
good.
amazing too, because you're talking about something that's basically known. I mean, everyone's seen turmeric or however you want
I was
to
going to say,
pronounce
a
it.
lot of people say turmeric,
Yeah.
but guess what, guys? It's turmeric.
Well, actually, it can be either way.
People say it all kinds of different
And actually,
ways,
in the active ingredient is curcumin, so that makes it even more confusing because
Yeah.
curcumin is mentioned a lot, and that's the active ingredient of turmeric or turmeric. So it's very confusing, but at the same time, it's really amazing for inflammation, and it helps a lot with not only helping with your inflammation of your joints and your ligaments and tendons, but it also helps a lot with gallbladder inflammation and organ inflammation. So people have liver non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and things like that can take it, and it can help a lot with that fatty liver disease and a lot of inflammation too. So that's really good. And then sciatica, we had the question about sciatica from a friend. I just read something on Facebook where she had was having an issue with it, and that's something that you have had a lot of issues with
Oh, I suffered.
in the past before I met you. And rutin. Rutin is a citrus bioflavonoid. It's found in a lot of vitamin C supplements.
Okay.
And but rutin is really good to help with helping with once again the inflammation of that sciatic nerve. So we've been doing a lot. And of course, you take rutin. Anytime we're going to ride a motorcycle, ride horses.
Fly on an airplane.
Fly on an airplane, sit in a boat, for 2 hours in the
Sit in
Amazon.
uncomfortable chairs for long lengths
Yeah.
of time. I have to.
Moving, when you have to move your
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Amazon's
that's the
easy.
worst.
The Amazon's easy compared to moving. I can tell you that.
Ooh, that's rough.
That moving is rough. As
It
anyone who
is.
does it. That's the reason. But everyone, about every 10 years, should pretend that you need to move. Take your entire home, pack it up, get rid of everything that you don't need, and then just unpack.
Every time we move, we end up getting rid of just so much stuff that we
Yeah.
didn't realize that we weren't using.
Thousands
didn't
of
need,
dollars worth of
could
donations.
Just
and
donate.
things that we can
Yeah,
get rid
that's
of.
how it works,
And
though.
then you can find everything you own. You
I
discover
know.
all kind of new things.
It's like something you lost 7 years before.
Yes.
Well, we're bad about that.
We are
We're
horrible
bad
about that.
I mean, we've discovered so many interesting things over the past year since we've been moving. And
Well,
doing
we
things.
hide things to keep them safe, and
then
then
you
can
can't find
never
it.
find them again.
I don't even want to talk
I did that
about
to
that.
myself the other day.
frustrating.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
well,
like, dang.
it was
wow.
funny too when you're calling your parents and you're like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, do you happen to have that 12 gauge shotgun or know where. Oh yeah, you remember you brought it over right before you left for the Amazon. It's like, oh yeah, okay. It's just ridiculous. It's like, anyway, that's.
How do you lose that?
Yeah.
How do you lose
exactly.
How do you lose a magazine-fed
Well,
12 gauge shotgun? Well, we can in a heartbeat.
Wow.
Ask the ATF back in my
That's,
NFA days.
Did you hide it from yourself? That's
Yeah,
what I would-
no. Well, I hide it.
The
Well,
gun.
well, what you do is you take your property,
Mm-hmm.
anything that's valuable, especially if people find out that you're gone. You need
Mm-hmm.
to get it somewhere where obviously they're not going to look.
Right.
So then you hide things, which that's one thing. But then the ultimate way to hide things is to hide it at someone else's home, right? Then they really can't get it.
Wow,
you gotta
I've
go.
never thought of
Yeah.
that.
And
Important things
But
when-
then when you're in
yeah.
a massive hurry and you forget whose home you've hid what in, then you get the phone calls later of, hey, by the way, do you want your shotgun back? Sure, thanks. Need that shotgun, I guess.
Well, we have several different, so we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
miss them on a daily
it's
basis
not like-
when
yeah,
they're not
and
around.
Obviously,
so.
I'm not using this. Thank the Lord, I'm not using a home defense shotgun very often. So that's one of those things.
Yeah.
Then you look over and it's gone, and you're thinking,
Uh-oh. Who got it?
I'm asking her, of course, as if she's to blame. She's like, I don't know what you did with the shotgun.
Cookie took it.
Yeah, Cookie.
Cookie stole it.
And she'll never tell you where she put it.
That's true. And you know what? Our dog will go to the shooting range.
Oh, yeah,
Cookie went to the Oxford fireworks show, the last one that we had. I'm not joking. She watched the entire fireworks show.
Wow.
Now the finale was a little bit. I mean, I had
got a little-
I kind of had to hold her because she's thinking, "Is this the end?" And like some of the kids.
It's the rapture.
Hey, she was better behaved than some of the children. there,
actually
let me-
was.
let me tell you.
Hey, that's
But she'll go to the gun range. She'll go to the shooting range. Now she doesn't.
Does she
run-
shoot
in the
stuff
vehicle.
herself?
No.
No,
That
she-
would be funny though.
She can handle the smaller calibers, but you get up to the heavy stuff. Anything past the 223, and she's just no good with it.
Wow.
So, what other questions
just
have we had? What other
picturing.
issues have we had? I know you picture your little Rambo outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
That would be cute.
Yeah, we go on, well, actually, normally when we finish up here on this show, we spend about a half hour at least with Cookie.
Hanging out with
Cookie.
Cookie.
Yeah, outside in the parking lot.
She's awesome. She's a dog, by the way.
Yeah, in case
In
you're
case
wondering.
this is your first time
People
here.
are like, wow, they really like.
They're like, who
We
in
really
the
need to
world
bring
is
her.
this?
We're
We
going to have
really
a
need to
pet
bring
health
her on.
episode sometime.
I
We keep
know.
saying that, but we'll do it
Don't
one
you have
day.
a bunch
day.
of questions that they sent from somewhere?
Yeah, I do. I've
Oh,
got.
there's new ones.
We have new questions.
I have
We-
some questions that.
They were
Ooh,
emailed
can I
to me.
pick?
You can.
Can I just throw them at you?
Scroll through and see what you think about these. They were sent
Let's
to us
find out.
I
earlier
haven't seen them, but she does. She has.
earlier this week, and
Hopefully they're not like awful.
They're
Oh.
long. This might take me a minute. Y'all keep talking.
Okay.
so I did have somebody today come in asking about what ear candles were.
Okay.
Oh,
ear
those
candles.
are great. They feel so good.
They're every ear, nose, and throat specialist nightmare. They were actually banned for a few weeks in the United States. Ear candles were because they're used so often to clean kids' ears out and adults' ears out that obviously people who specialize in doing that don't really like the idea of someone just taking a 400-year or actually probably a 2,000-year-old medieval modality and sticking it in their ear and lighting the other end of it. You do have to be very careful with it. But they're basically, imagine a cone, a sphere that is that's wrapped in like a cloth, and then the cloth is dipped in like beeswax or some other form of wax, but normally it's beeswax. Then it's like a little tunnel.
Like a tube.
Yeah, a little tube. And so the top of it is a larger opening diameter than the bottom of it, which is more of a cone that you put in your ear. Now you normally take a hole, put a hole in like a paper plate, or better yet, an aluminum pie plan because paper burns. But you can use a paper plate if you're careful. You take that plate and you put it, the hole in the center, you put the cone through the center, have about 2 inches sticking out in the bottom. You lay over on your side, you elevate your head to where it's parallel to your body, and you put the ear candle in. Now you watch something on TV or have a mirror there so that you can see what you're doing. It's best not to do this alone.
I was going to say,
It's
watching
really-
TV, you might forget your whole
Yeah, well, this is the best episode of Andy Griffith. I'll never forget. My hair's on fire. Michael
the
Jackson
hill.
all over again. So all of a sudden you're laying there, and this burns down, and as it's burning down, the heat and the smoke goes into the ear canal, and it pulls out earwax. It pulls out moisture, and it pulls out, and it helps a lot of times even with infections.
It's awesome. It feels great.
Yeah, and it's really neat. Some people
relaxing.
get to the point where they like do it all the time. That don't do it all the time. It's not something you need to do a lot.
Could it suck your eardrum out if you did it a lot?
No, No, but it
Not
could
at
cause it causes a little bit of inflammation just because of the smoke and heat. So doing it all over and over again, which some people do, just like colonics or anything else, which is weird, then it can be something that can be abused, and that's the reason, of course, you hear horror stories or bad stories about it. But if you use it like you should, and use it on people who obviously can lay down still for 5 minutes or more, that's kind of important too. Don't take a hyperactive 4-year-old
Toddler,
and,
yeah.
and then say, hey, let's lay down so that we can stick this fire in your ear. Don't do that. So as it burns
Do
down,
that.
you can
I'm
do
kidding.
you can, if you're bored. But the,
And videotape it and send it to us. We'll air it.
but it's amazing though how many people have really good effect of that pulling out of their ear the bad stuff. And so then you take a little bit of like garlic and mullein ear oil, which is you can get all of when we have it.
I just made a new batch.
Oh, there you go.
today.
So-
Why are we mixing up like
Garlic and
food
mullein.
and stuff in your ear?
Garlic is a natural antibiotic and it's soothing, and mullein is extremely soothing to the ear.
Garlic
So
is
when you put it in an oil, you put a few drops in your ear, maybe 2 or 3, and you just let it sit for a little while, and then normally that will help reduce any of the inflammation that you might get from the ear candle.
Well, and also if there's an infection, the garlic is will help with infection, and then we also use a hemp base for our ear oil, which also is antibacterial,
Right.
so it'll also help with ear infections and pain.
Yeah, it's a good thing, especially as we're getting closer to winter. The kids are going to start having more ear infections and issues with their ears, especially once it starts getting cold and the football games start getting nippy, and then people aren't layering properly and all that kind of type of stuff. We're getting close
We are.
to that time of year.
We are.
Right after the hurricane.
It's not going to happen.
You just don't think it's going to happen. It's a conspiracy theory.
I was a weather girl. I
Well-
know it's a lie. It's not going to affect here.
I think they've been cloud seeding, and they've had the perfect storm right before the election. I think that it's going to be, well, anyway, we'll say. We're going to pray about it for the main thing. We actually have friends down on the
Yes.
coast, a lot of friends down on the coast between Destin and Port St. Joe, and I'm real concerned about Port St. Joe. They just keep getting hammered, and that's the real beach. That's where the people who are afraid of the biting flies and the mosquitoes don't go. So it's where we like to go because it's real and raw, like Apalachicola and up in there. And so those folks, we'll just be praying a lot for those folks. And if you're ordered to evacuate, please evacuate. I mean, for real, it's just stuff. Your stuff, it's just stuff. And
You can't take it with you later on.
No, and your
You're
insurance
valuable,
company,
not your
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
exactly right. We went through Mexico Beach one time.
Oh, it was so
I think we need
sad.
to go to break. Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, we've got to go to break, but don't go away. We'll be right back.
May not believe it, but it's true. The 2024 Team 1 Chevys are here. All 2324 Silverado light duties have 2.9% financing for 72 months. The hottest new 24 Team 1 Chevy Blazer, 1.9% financing and no payments till April. And the #1 selling family vehicle, the Equinox, 24 models. You got it. 1.9% financing and no payments till April. Team 1 Chevrolet, home of the best people, the best service, period.
The Point at JSU is an off-campus student housing property located a half a mile away from Jacksonville State University. The Point offers fully furnished, pet-friendly, 2 bedrooms and 4 bedroom units. Resident experience is our #1 priority, therefore we do offer the following amenities: a resort-style pool, fitness center, basketball and volleyball court, and dog park. We would love for you to come see our property, so give us a call at 256-376-8317 to schedule a tour today.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available. At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Welcome back to Truth, Health, and Wellness. I'm Lacey Klontz with Dr. Matt and Deborah St. John. So what were we talking about? Or maybe we should move on to another subject.
Maybe we were talking about, I think you had mentioned something about bad breath.
I did. So someone has written in and asked, it seems that when I go without eating a meal that I develop bad breath. It appears that when I am alone and not talking with others that I develop the same problem.
Well, at least
Let's
it's
talk
when
about
you're
it.
at least it's when you're alone and not talking to others. But no, it's an issue. Bad breath. A lot of people think that bad breath is concentrated to your mouth. It's not.
Is it gut?
It's in your gut. It's in your people who have fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. People who have colon issues. People who have issues with their stomach, with digestion, can oftentimes have problems with halitosis. And so bad breath is actually easily combated, which is really cool. There's a couple of tricks. One is to just consume liquid chlorophyll or chlorophyll. It's funny because they call it the blood of plants.
My brain registered that as chloroform.
Chloroform. Just take some chloroform
do we
and
really need to
then
do
you won't
that?
even then you won't even worry about it.
It's been a long day,
You won't have
everyone.
any concerns
sorry,
after that. So you
chlorophyll?
take chlorophyll, which is the green pigment of plants, and the plant blood. Drink plant blood.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, so,
Kill the plant and drink its blood.
But it helps to purify your blood. So plant blood helps
Interesting.
to purify human blood. So chlorophyll is really, I just read that
That's
today.
cool.
Thanks. So I didn't say it, I read it, but it's still, I thought it was cool. So I didn't remember it. So taking this chlorophyll, once again, this green, you can take it in a liquid. It doesn't taste as bad as it sounds. Sometimes they'll put a little peppermint in it. Or you can take it in like gel capsules. Taking it helps to sort of deodorize the body from the inside out. Now, I have a funny story that I have to water down a little bit for when I say it, publicly. But we used to have an employee, not actually at St. John's Nutrition, at a franchise store somewhere else. I'm not just saying that, but they're not at St. John's Nutrition. But they were an employee that we were getting a lot of complaints because of their halitosis. And how do you address that?
That's embarrassing.
Especially when the employee is female and I'm male. That's just not something you could touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Even though we tried to keep her at about a 10-foot. No, that's another story. But so we, I figured, you know what? Maybe I can accidentally order too much liquid chlorophyll. So we accidentally ordered too much liquid chlorophyll, right? So we got in the shipment. I'm like, oh my goodness, a bottle of liquid chlorophyll for everybody. So I gave all the employees a bottle of liquid chlorophyll, including this person. And
And she didn't even use it.
no, thank the Lord. After about, well, this is funny because after 2 or 3 different days of working with this person, I could tell that they probably weren't using it. So I finally asked, hey, did you ever, I forgot to even get that liquid chlorophyll. I'm like, it's right here, so you should take it with you. Hey, don't forget your liquid chlorophyll. So they started taking it and everything got better. It was wonderful. But the liquid chlorophyll can help out a lot. Also, taking a little bit of peppermint oil, the essential oil of peppermint, you can take a drop and put it in like a glass of water. Or if you're careful, now you don't really need to be consuming essential oils orally unless you really know what you're doing, and unless you're diluting them and know how to dilute them. But you could take just a little dab of peppermint oil and just barely touch it to your tongue. And just maybe drink a little bit of water, swish it around, swallow. And that can deodorize a lot.
It's kind of like a homemade mouthwash. Even if you put like 1 drop in a little bit of water, and then swish it and spit it.
Do you know that traditional mouthwashes actually adversely affect the cardiovascular system? Listerine, Scope, all that.
Hurts
I used to
your
know a
heart.
band director, I won't say who, over in Gadsden, who used to drink Scope all day long, straight from the bottle. We didn't think it was actually Scope, it was a college band director, and people in Gadsden who know this person are like, I know, they're screaming his name. But he was elderly, and he was really an amazing individual, legendary actually. But he would constantly have this Scope bottle, and you'd see him take a sip of the Scope, right? But then he'd just sit it down. He'd never spit it out. So one
We
day,
know what he was doing.
right? Well, one day we were at an event,
Sneaky.
and this happened to be my band director for a portion of my life, and I was put up to the task because I was a rookie. It was my first year in this program, and I was put up to the task of actually going and tasting whether or not it was really Scope. A lot of people theorized that it was actually like vodka, and that had a little bit of food coloring in it. So I ran over, grabbed the bottle, opened it up, took a big swig. There he came. I swallowed it because what are you
No.
going to do? Yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't kill him because this guy was in his 80s and had a full head of hair and, anyway, now I'm really giving away the guy. But anyway, I turned around, took a swig, and it was Scope. It was pure Scope. Man drank Scope every day of his life, from the time that he got to school to the time that he left.
And you're telling me he lived to be into his 80s
Almost.
and he had great hair?
He may have been 90.
There you go.
He may have been 90.
Is that the secret?
So is the scope
Well, this is
healthy for
This is
you?
actually completely adverse to what I was saying. This
I was gonna
story
say,
has
so you're-
nothing to do with what
I
I'm
was
talking
going to
about.
say, so we should drink scope every
No,
day and
this
swallow
was
it.
this was the reason he no, I'm just kidding. This is not the reason, but he actually died of cardiovascular disease. But mouthwashes will inhibit your body's output of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas that our bodies produce that opens up, dilates our blood vessels and our arteries to help improve circulation and improve cardiovascular function. Some people say nitric oxide is the key to sort of serving as like a rotor-rooter for our arteries and our veins to be able to kind of keep them from having arterial plaque and that sort of thing. So there's all these nitric oxide boosters like beetroot, for example. Beetroot juice is something we drink on a regular basis, and or I drink on a regular basis. She makes it and watches me drink it. You should drink it too. So I drink the beetroot juice, and within just seconds, you can actually feel an elevation of this nitric oxide. Now, bodybuilders or performance athletes will use nitric oxide supplements to increase their athletic performance and increase their what they call their pump, which is the volume of water that goes into their muscle cells after they work out or when they're working out, and it increases strength. But the cool thing is that it also helps to open up those arteries and blood vessels and helps with circulation. The easiest way to inhibit nitric oxide production is to do something that destroys the probiotics in your mouth. Here's the thing. Yes, people have bad bacteria in their mouth, right? But they also have more, or they should have more good bacteria than they do bad bacteria. So when you drink these mouthwashes, when you consume and
Bottoms
spit
up.
out. I guess most people don't drink this stuff, but when you use mouthwash, you're destroying these probiotics in your mouth, which inhibits your body's ability to produce nitric oxide. That's the reason that the nitric oxide supplements that, for example, we have something called Cardio 24/7. It's a cardiovascular product designed to help increase nitric oxide levels, and it works really well. The directions say to consume it first thing in the morning before you have any food and before you brush your teeth or use any mouthwash. And the reason is because that will inhibit its effectiveness. So yeah,
Well.
it's really cool that you can, sort of increase your nitric oxide level, but it's not cool that a lot of folks don't know when they're taking their Listerines or their Scope that it's one of the most adverse things that you can possibly do for your cardiovascular system. And don't drink it.
No.
He was just pickled over time. It was just something that he could do. That's one of the things that made him an enigma.
That's still so wild, though, that mouthwash messes with
Yeah.
cardiovascular.
Isn't it almost true of everything that they try to do today? Everything they try and do to quote unquote improve your lifestyle or improve
Make
your health.
things easier,
So for example, dental floss. Now dental flossing is one of the most important. There are several people who agree that the most important hygienic thing that you can possibly do isn't even bathing with soap. It's flossing. To prevent disease, to prevent decay,
Bad
to
breath.
prevent bad breath, flossing your teeth is important. It's way more important than even brushing your teeth. At the same time, all of the major dental floss companies use plastic, heavy amounts of PFA-ridden plastic on their dental floss.
Well, and then you have those little plastic flossers that are just,
the plackers.
Yeah,
Horrible,
that you see in every
though.
single. Think about the environment.
for the
in my
environment.
purse.
Right,
Well,
and
don't
there's-
throw them on the ground.
There's probably six in
And
the
in
parking
the-
right, but there's probably
you
six in
know,
the parking lot out here.
They don't biodegrade.
People
I mean,
throw
they
them
just
away.
last, on our earth forever.
Yeah, and they're
And then you
completely made of
see them
plastic.
everywhere.
And then we're getting plastics between our teeth, and we're consuming plastics because they're making these things to where they feel good or whatever. You can actually find organic or natural dental floss.
What?
You can. I mean, literally dental floss that doesn't have PFAs or plastics. You can find it. It's not easy to get. We found one time. You may as well just went and bought rope at Ace Hardware. It was like, seriously?
Wow.
My goodness, you could
Would
even
that
use
be
it.
healthier than the
No,
actual?
yeah. Well, I mean, maybe thread. I don't know. Organic cotton thread would probably be something you could use, but but there are companies that offer it without the plastics. But it's amazing how they, especially when it comes to dentistry, with the use of fluoride, and we can get on and go on and on there. But yeah, it's a lot of the things that people do, for example, even to freshen their breath, is adverse to their health.
Well, dental issues also can contribute to bad breath if you have,
course.
Underlying issues with your teeth, and you have bad breath that you can't get rid of. Then it can have to do with your teeth.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just that's the common thing people don't really understand, and that's the reason this person's saying, well, when you're hungry, that's because you're empty.
Mm-hmm.
You're empty, and basically whatever is inside you is kind of coming out.
Right. Well, now.
I'll turn that back on for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to ask. Okay, fluoride. Oh wait, hold on. I had two things going on in my head at once. Okay, bad breath. Can it also be caused by a bad diet?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. You are what you eat, and my goodness. And of course, some foods that you would think would be horrible for your breath, whether it be garlic or onions or fermented foods, kimchi, all these different things that you think would be terrible are actually not after you consume them. So strange.
And they're so good for your body that
It works itself out.
Kinda doesn't
the
matter.
acidity or the smell, the pungent odors can, for example, like with garlic. If you get a garlic supplement, or if you get a garlic that doesn't stink or smell like garlic, well, now it's not effective for much of anything. Okay, so I can't eat onions. We will literally, when we go Mexican, when we go Italian, when we eat any type of food, we always say no onions, no onions, no onions. We really hammer them with the no onions. I don't like white onions. I don't like the taste of them. If I touch onions with my hand, I cannot stand to be near my hand. Now, I like my hand.
Because of the smell.
Because of the smell. I have to fumigate my hand and put peppermint oil on it to even tolerate my hands. Like the time I rubbed anaconda oil on my arm. I had a snake the next morning on my arm.
Snake oil.
Snake oil.
It's real.
It is real. They use it, Bushmaster oil, on anaconda oil. So, where was I?
onions.
Onions. So the onions, but then there's Top of the River.
Oh dear.
Not to throw out a little advertisement for this place, because it's really not really a health food restaurant, if you know what I mean. We get the grilled chicken, and we'll get the coleslaw and the
Baked
baked
potato.
potatoes and the greens, and it's okay every once in a while. Baked
Clears your
potatoes.
sinuses over there.
Right, but they have
Everything.
those pickled onions, and they're pickled onions, and I can eat them. I can eat a whole bowl full of them without one issue, without one problem.
Really?
Yep.
Yep, without a single issue.
I wonder
Pickle-
why.
Because they've killed the is it allicin?
Or the alanine or
Alan-
something like that.
The active ingredient, I can't remember which exactly the active ingredient is for onions, but that's the main ingredient that really helps. So it's pretty wild.
Oh wow.
Are we out of time?
Just about.
That's crazy.
Real quick, fast question before we leave. What is the worst side effect that drinking too much water with fluoride can cause?
Pineal gland
It can
calcifies
cause you to get further away from God. It can inhibit your spiritual life by causing a calcified pineal gland, which causes a reduction of spiritual feelings and emotions, and causes you to basically become cold.
More on that next week.
More
we'll talk
on
about
that
that
next week. So drink your purified water and talk to Jesus. And we will see you right back here next Wednesday on Truth, Health, and Wellness. Have a great night.
Amen.